Welcome to Fox Valley Today. I'm your host, Meg Geray, and we've been talking a lot about the different events that are happening throughout our area. During the summertime, it seems like every town, every village, every city has their own celebration, and rightly so. There are so many things to celebrate around here. Well, one with a very unique aspect is happening in Waterman. It's the Waterman Lions Club. They're putting on the Summerfest, the truck and tractor show. Something a little bit new this year, a new partnership, and going to talk about all of that and a lot of fun stuff that's happening with Sean Blowbaum here, the Vice President of the Lions Club, the Waterman Lions, and Jim Allen, you're with the Shabana United Church of Christ, United Church of Christ, okay? And you guys are both kind of partnering together, so talk a little bit about what these events are that have kind of been separate in the past and now they're combining for one big event.
Sure, well, for the last 15 years, the Waterman Lions Club has hosted at Waterman Lions Park in Waterman our antique tractor show, and then it became Summerfest with a few other festivities, and then a few years ago we started doing tractor pulls with little lawnmower tractors.
Okay.
And then last year we got a little bit bigger with the tractor pull area with real size tractors, and then we heard about the UCC in Shabana, and they also were doing some tractor pulling, and they had the experience with it, and they came to us and said, hey, how about we work together? And we were all for it because there's only so many people that can do so many things in one day. So
we were sponsoring a tractor pull on Memorial Day Saturday.
Okay.
And one of the issues when you have such a big event is to get all of the supporting activities around it, and they had already taken care of that on their Summerfest day. So it's a good merger of bringing our tractor pull and our breakfast over to other events. So it's going to be a good relationship.
All right, kind of made sense for both of you and makes sense for the community to have that one place that they can go to. So this is mostly on Saturday, correct? It's pretty much a one-day event?
It is a one-day event.
A long day.
Right, yes.
It's like 3 days in one.
Packed into one. All right, talk about those different components. You kind of mentioned the history of how those came up, but what are the different aspects when somebody comes to the Summerfest? There are different areas, different kind of categories of what's happening.
Right, so the park itself is about 11 acres, and we have another 4 or 5 acres that we've rented for the tractor pull area on the south end of the park. Pretty big park. Inside the park we have a train that goes all the way around. It's a Waterman and Western Railroad goes around the park. We'll have a main stage where we'll have music throughout the day. We'll also have a DJ playing music throughout the day. We'll have a bounce house. We'll have the kids area. And then we also have, throughout most of the park actually, we'll have antique tractors. People come from the community. It doesn't cost anything to bring your tractor. We tag it, you line up, and people come and look at it. There's some judging. And then at one point, and we can probably go through the schedule, but at one point we'll have a parade of power. And we're very excited to have Max Armstrong come again to help host that Parade of Power, along with Mark Tuttle, who's the current DeKalb County Farm Bureau president. And last year those two were there. We had a great time, and they're both coming back, and that's exciting.
Yeah, that is. It's a pretty big event and some big names. You can tell this is a real draw for not just your community, but from all over,
all
really.
over. Traditionally, we've had around 120, 130 tractors, or at least exhibitors. Sometimes we have the small putt-putt engines. And then we have, this year for the first time, we have the Illinois Northwest chapter of the American Truck Historical Association doing their main show. So we'll also have a lot of antique trucks. So we don't know how big it will be this year.
Okay.
You'll have to come and see.
Exactly. Come find out. Well, we've got a video here. Somebody put this together. It sounds like maybe from last year's event.
Sure. Yeah. Let's take a look.
All right, so this is Summerfest and Tractor Show. So that's kind of the two components that have kind of grown out of the Lions Club originally.
That's right. So here you see some of the polling going on, and this video is a mix throughout the day, but yeah, a lot of people standing around, but that's not really what's going on.
Sure.
The polling going on, and Jim, you could talk a little bit about the polling, but it's all sizes of tractors.
Yeah, the polling is primarily for pre-1974 tractors. It's an antique pool, and we have a maximum 10,000-pound weight class and 2 and 4 cylinders, and so it's meant to be a very low-pressure event. And we're trying to encourage not only experienced pullers to come, and we've contacted all the major pulling organizations in southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois. Illinois, and but we really want first-time pullers, the folks who just have always thought about doing it, have that favorite tractor on the farm, that older tractor that they had that was Grandpa's tractor they can bring out to pull and to see what happens with that. We've had some of our folks who've pulled in the past for the first time who've won their divisions.
Really?
And with some of the older tractors, so it's kind of be a nostalgia type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, are divisions done mostly by size of engine? Is that how that works?
Well, a little bit, but it's mostly by weight class and how much weight is on the tractor and the power. So there's a couple. It's fully aspirated non-aspirated tractors rather, which means that there's no super fuel type of things. That it's not the big super fuel types of tractors. It's all stock tractors. Yeah.
All right.
So some of the other things you see there. So this gun shooting, those aren't real bullets, and those kids aren't really. It's basically gunpowder, and it blows up the balloons. That's a fun draw. We call it a quick shoot little competition.
Nice.
Nobody gets hurt with that. We have music, we have bands throughout the day. Another pull that's going on while we were talking there was a kiddie pull.
Yeah.
So little kids have
they've got pedals.
They got
right?
pedals, yep, and there's different classes of that. I don't believe there's a cost to that. And something new this year, we're actually going to do 2 drawings for a pink pedal pull tractor and a green John Deere pedal pull tractor, and we think that the kids, especially the grandparents, will love to be buying those tickets.
Absolutely.
There's our Waterman Western Railroad train that just went by.
Now that's a pretty famous for our location here. I mean, a lot of people know about that. A lot of people come for different events there, so
That's
this is a chance to.
That's a chance to ride on that. Yeah, music again throughout the day. Also, we saw a little bit of a magician there a little while ago. We got wagon rides, and of course we're always touting our sponsors. If it weren't for the sponsors, there's no way we could possibly do this event. So sponsors are a huge part of it throughout the day. We are trying to get the recognition out there for the sponsors.
Sure.
Petting zoo. Always a big draw.
Yes, absolutely.
Always curious where we're going to put the petting zoo next to all the other vendors. So it moves around a little bit. Yeah, and you can just see all the variety of tractors. It's lined up really well. It's amazing what people can do to their tractors.
Right.
Old tractors that look brand new. Brand new tractors that look pretty old.
Yeah.
So, and you see the variety there.
Well, it's cool too to see the various ages of the people. I mean, a little kid going up to a machine like that is just kind of in awe of something so big and mechanical, but anybody of any age can really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Even those of us who don't know much about tractors, such as myself.
To be honest, I didn't know much about it before I joined the Lions Club, and now I'm kind of tossed into it.
You learn.
You learn.
There's something extra special too with the tractor will not be pulling, but there's a very famous tractor that's going to be there. Doug Bend and a number of folks in the community many years ago, back in the 70s, built this tractor with an airplane engine from an old P-51 airplane from World War II, and so it's a V12 engine, and the tractor is a Minneapolis Moline that's been extended, and they're going to start that up for our charity auction as kind of a draw to bring people into the charity auction. But the ground will shake when he starts this up.
Wow, really?
Yeah, this is quite a machine. Yeah.
So this is something that's local. People have kind of seen this around before.
Yeah, but it's got international in the tractor pulling community. It's got an international reputation because back when they put it together, it won everything. And it just devastated the competition. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I would imagine that's this is kind of like a whole new world. So this is an aspect of a lot of places have these summer events like we were saying, but this is something that's so unique to Waterman that you guys actually have this part of it. If people want to find out more information, we should say you guys have websites. If you go to the ShabanaChurch.com or the WatermanLions.com, WatermanTractorShow.com,
you got it.
You've got all the info on there. Yeah. So everybody can check that out. Well, let's kind of start talking through a little bit of where these the funds are going to, because this is a fundraiser. I mean, this event, all of the funds or part of the funds, or how does that work? 3 of
the events that we're sponsoring at the event is a breakfast in the morning. Okay. It's going to be an old-fashioned country breakfast. It's going to be a farm casserole that the folks have come up with, and also it's going to be biscuits and gravy, and it's going to be by donation. So whatever whatever that someone wants to contribute. So the net proceeds from that, plus the charity auction, we're having a lot of businesses and churches and a lot of folks in the community. It's kind of like the old-fashioned farm charity auction. It's where people make baked goods. We have some people who are making items for the garden, trellis. One person has made a trellis, and they bring these items in the auction. So some of these pies go for $20, $30, $40, $50,
right.
and cakes as well. And so that's to raise money. And then we also have the tractor pull. Any net proceeds we make from the tractor pull go to Foods Resource Bank, which is an agricultural mission. It's a really neat mission. They work in subsistence agricultural areas, like for example Kenya, where you might have a saline aquifer. How do you farm with a saline aquifer? And so Foods Resource Bank goes to those places and try to take our technology to them, so that someone who has been getting 3 bags of corn or a particular grain now is getting 9 bags and then 27 bags to kind of make them self-sufficient.
Wow.
And so it's a neat ministry. And then the other portions of the proceeds will go to the United Neighborhood Center, which is a family service center that we're in the process of starting. It's located in the old Shabana Clinic in Shabana, Illinois.
Okay,
Yeah.
so these are kind of the organizations that
Yeah.
you have brought in through the church and what
Right.
you were doing prior to teaming up with
Right.
the Waterman Lions Fest. And then I know obviously the Lions Club is all about, you are a service organization.
Right.
You're working for those charities, and I know there are specific ones and
Specific and then non-specific
Right.
too. I mean, a lot of local funds stay local. We'll help with the park and the maintenance of the park. We help with local scholarships for high school kids from Indian Creek School District going on to college. And then of course a lot of our funds, or some of our funds at least, go to Lions International, which their main mission is helping people with vision and hearing impairment.
right. Which I think is what a lot of us are familiar with when we see the Lions
Right.
Club, the drives that they do and that sort of thing.
And the hearing impaired truck will be there that day
That's
to
right.
measure hearing. So,
Oh, okay,
from-
that's
from
a nice
Lions,
little
yeah.
service.
And we verified, even though it's really loud with music, they're still okay with having the hearing impaired truck there.
All right, well, Saturday, July 18th, a big day. We're about to take a quick break here, but when we come back, we're going to talk a lot more about the schedule, what's happening that day, and some of the different components that you guys have here. Waterman Lions Park is at 420 South Birch Street in Waterman. And if you could just give us an idea, many of us are from, a little bit further away than others. So getting to Waterman and getting to the park.
Yeah, go on US 30 west of Chicago, and at the corner of US 30 and Route 23, Illinois 23 is Waterman. If you continue on into Waterman, you'll see plenty of signs. We'll have a big tractor out by the highway pointing you where to go.
Okay.
We'll have other parking. We usually fill up the entire school, junior high lot, and baseball field and soccer field with parking.
Wow.
So,
Yep. So good thing you have kind of not unlimited, but you have ample space. For
Ample
parking.
space, yeah.
All right. Well, sounds great. We're going to take a quick break, as I said, but we're going to hear more about the Waterman Lions Summerfest, the Truck and Tractor Show coming up. Stay with us right here on Fox Valley Today.
I'm Eric Compton, professional golfer.
I'm Sam. I play pro soccer.
I'm Eric. I play basketball.
We are all alive and healthy today because people chose to be organ donors.
You too can donate life.
Currently, there are more than 123,000 men, women, and children waiting for an organ transplant.
I made a difference and became a kidney donor. You can donate life too.
Visit donatelife.net.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly. Tiana gave her pet the royal treatment. Belle found beauty where no one else did. And you can too. Share your heart. Share your love. Bring home your forever friend. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
can be a hero by being prepared for an emergency. First, make a plan. Call a family meeting to plan for things like how to connect with loved ones after an emergency or your escape route. I am not fast. Build a kit. When disaster strikes, it's important to have enough supplies to last 3 days. And don't forget the batteries. Low battery. Visit ready.gov/kids for more preparedness tips.
Welcome back to Fox Valley Today. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Meg Geray, talking with Sean Blobaum and Jim Allen. They are with the Waterman Lion Summerfest and Truck and Tractor Show. And I should say antique truck and tractor show. There is this exhibit part of it is open to antique tractors. Is it only antiques or newer as well?
No, newer as well,
Okay.
but whatever someone's proud of, they can bring down.
All right, so Saturday, July 18th is the big day, but this truck and tractor show, part of it, you are going to be opening that up so that people can come and get things kind of set up a little bit the night before.
Right, actually even the afternoon before.
Okay.
We'll have someone there the whole time. And traditionally, you know, if you had everybody bringing all their tractors on flatbed trucks on Saturday morning, it becomes quite chaotic. So
Right.
We always open that up to Friday afternoon, Friday night. You can bring your tractors down, we'll register them. And what we do is we put a little magnetic tag, so there's nothing stuck to the truck. It
Okay.
gives you a number, says a little bit about who you are, where you're from, the make and model of the tractor is all on this tag. It's stuck on there, and then we park you, and then we have a whole list of all the different numbered tractors. And you know, if you can get there Friday, that's the best. But of course, we're open Saturday morning, and come on in Saturday morning. We probably have another 40-50 trucks that show up
Wow.
on Saturday morning.
And you said there's something like over 100.
Yeah,
for
usually
total,
about
right?
130
Okay.
or more will show up. And we have security overnight for both Friday night and Saturday night, so everything's completely safe. They're there all night long.
Okay.
And for the tractor pull, many of the folks will show up. Some of the folks will show up on Friday, but most of them will show up Saturday morning. And weigh-in begins at 7 o'clock that morning because all the tractors have to be weighed in to be able to matched up in their class. And the weigh-in will go from 7 o'clock when breakfast starts to 9:30, and then the actual tractor pull begins at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so things really kick off pretty early there Saturday.
They sure do. And there's, I should also note that there's no fee to bring your tractor. No fee
Okay.
for the antique portion of it, at least. So
All right. And this is something, do they need to contact you ahead of time? Do they
Nope.
just show up?
Just show up.
All right.
But come on Friday if you
But
can.
please, if you can.
If they
That would
want to
really
shoot
help.
us an email, that would be comforting. But yeah.
All right, so then the weigh-in and all that is going to be happening, but the first kind of event that you mentioned for Saturday morning is the breakfast, and that's something that and the church is kind of newer bringing this in.
Yeah, we've been asked to take that over, and we're going to be offering biscuits and gravy, as well as a special country casserole that the folks are putting together, and it's going to be very, very special. It's going to be by donation, so it's whatever someone wants to give for their particular meal is.
Okay.
So it's going to be a good time. So.
All right, and the proceeds from that are kind of going towards the
FRB, Foods Resource Bank, and the United Neighborhood Center.
Okay,
Yeah.
those that you mentioned there. $5 per meal is kind of a recommended, maybe.
Recommended donation, but whatever someone can afford.
All right. Kids 5 and under are free,
Free,
it
yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
kind of a nice plus when you've got the family with, and this really is, a family event. So, so the weigh-in then, and then another morning event that you have is a vintage baseball game, which is something I've heard kind of happens at a few different things around here, but I don't know much about it. So maybe enlighten me a little bit on what makes this a vintage baseball game.
Well, it's old-fashioned rules from the 1880s.
Yeah.
Are there many different rules? Are there things that have
Well,
changed
they
much?
don't wear gloves, and
Okay.
and the baseball is baseball size or type and size. It's a little spongier, a little softer.
Okay.
They use wooden bats. The team that's coming to play the local team is going to be dressed up in 1890s uniforms, and then our local team will be put together by people from the entire community. And we have quite a few good players that are on
Okay.
all the softball teams. So it'll be a good game. It'll be a good game.
Now, is it a different feel for if you're used to playing a regular old baseball game, do you have to kind of adapt a little bit? I don't know if you've ever
Yeah, if you don't
tried
have
this.
a glove on it, so there's going to be some adaptation.
Yeah.
Using a wooden bat is going to be an adaptation for many who have been using a metal bat, but it'll be a lot of fun. That's what makes it fun and humorous, and people have a good time.
Right, right.
And
so
they explain how it's played and the differences, during the game too.
Okay. 9:30 is the time for that, and you'll be able to, I'm sure, spectators galore for this. That's a fun thing. So the Somonauk Blue Sox, they're the team that's going to be coming in.
Yes.
And I believe they play pretty regularly around here.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, the tractor pull, as you mentioned, gets started at 10. You do have, if somebody's looking for information specifically about that, a contact for that. Doug Bend is the director of that part of it?
Yeah, Doug Bend is the director of our pool, and they'll see the information, or if they want me to send it, they can send it to my email address as well, which will be on the website.
Okay, okay. Now, anything that people need to know before they show up for this? I mean, you've talked a little bit about the different weight classes and that sort of thing. Do they need to be coming equipped with anything, or are they pretty used to this, or some of them?
We recommend they come with a 3-inch clevis hitch, which the farmers will know what that is.
Okay.
And all the tractors are naturally aspirated, as I mentioned earlier, and so this is all in all stock. We have one category that's called Too Hot to Farm, which is a little bit tuned up to the hotter side of the shop. And but for the most part, these are pre-1974 tractors. For the most part, that's usually what's considered an antique.
Okay. Yeah. Now, and that seems fairly recent to be considered an antique.
Yeah.
I would be thinking something from the...
I was born in 1974.
What are you trying to say?
I was born a little earlier.
Oh. All right.
But that's how they classify that?
Yeah, that's how they classify them, yeah.
Interesting.
And we have a 10,000-pound maximum, and also what happens on that day, since you don't know who's bringing what tractors and what size tractors, we sometimes will rechange the divisions a little bit to make sure that it's fair to everyone.
Okay.
And it'll be a lot of fun. It's always, and then once again, I say we're really emphasizing first-time pullers to come. We really want first-time pullers to come, as well as the experienced pullers. But we want this to be a thing where you bring Grandpa's tractor. You always wondered what it could do.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when people have these tractors, if they haven't pulled before, are they usually getting an indication somehow? Do they practice at home? How do you kind of gear up for
We
this?
have all sorts of folks who are very experienced, including Doug Bend, and they will make everyone feel very comfortable. They'll pull their tractor into line when their name is called, and everyone will set them up and give them clues and hints on how to pull at that time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very supportive group. Yeah.
Now, I don't want to sound too much like a newbie, but what are they pulling?
They're pulling a sled, and it's called in some vernacular it's called a mule, but it's a 40-foot. It kind of looks like a semi-truck backwards.
Oh,
and so it's kind of look like a semi-truck backwards, but it's a big device, and as they pull it, there's a weight on it that goes forward to put more weight on towards the back end of the tractor to make it stop. And so that's done the same for each tractor pull, yeah.
Okay, and are they all doing the same thing, or is it different for those different weight classes? Okay.
Well, it could be a little bit moderated for each weight class, but basically it's the same, yeah, very similar, yeah.
All right.
And the distinction is how far they can go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, who can pull the fullest? Yeah,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, it's like I said, a whole new world for some of us.
That's one of the great things about the original idea that we had when we had it on Memorial Day was our event on Memorial Day was to have an agricultural event for an agricultural mission. And what's so great about Waterman's is they've had this wonderful agricultural event for over 15 years.
Right.
And so it's a perfect blend with us to join with them. And what's exciting about this is that it's meant for the newbies, for our city friends to come out and say, here's a taste of agriculture. Here's kind of, wow, look how big some of these tractors are. Look here, it's how they used to farm. Look at the transition or difference. Look at all the charity auctions and the homemade goods.
Yeah.
To give kind of that rural cultural influence.
Well, that's what's kind of special about our area is that we're close but yet so far from the big city and even the suburbs, and even as you get out here you see that blend of the rural and suburban life, but sometimes you don't hear a lot about this sort of thing unless it's happening down in central Illinois, southern Illinois, but right up here, right off Route 30, you could see all this kind of history happening and staying alive. That's really. Right.
And if you're coming from the western suburbs, you just get off of the Sugar Grove exit off of 88 and then come right down.
Which is
Highway
familiar,
30.
for a lot of people coming from that way. All right, well, the kids events and all the kind of family-friendly things sort of kick off at 10 and they're going till 4. So, we saw the hay rides and the petting zoo and that sort of thing. Is that something that's kind of grown as part of the original tractor show?
Having bounce houses, petting zoo, track, the train going around, hay rides. rides. We might have a barrel train. There was a little bit of a video of a barrel train going on too.
And is that something they bring out special? Is that like somebody who owns that?
A local person has that. So, but you never know what might show up that day.
Right. Concessions, and that is provided by the Lions Club. Is that right?
Lions Club provides the concessions throughout the day. We have lunch. We'll have some food at night, during the beer garden, etc. We did kind of skip. There's also a craft show and flea market too.
Oh, okay, cool.
We'll probably having about 25 to 30 vendors that go out there and sell goods too.
Wow. And this is all, I mean, you're going to kind of walk around and see all this, or is there a certain spot to go for that? Okay.
You can't miss it. You walk around the park, you'll see where the vendor area is. You'll definitely see where the tractors are.
I'm sure you can't miss that.
It's an extravaganza.
Well, you mentioned a magician. 11 to 11:45 is Mr. Steve's.
Yeah, Mr. Steve was there last year, and the kids loved it. The Waterman, actually Clinton Township Library sponsors that through a grant, and that's awesome. You love it. It's hard to get them off the stage to start the parade, so we had to change the times a little bit.
Really?
So,
yeah. Well, after that, you've got 11 to 4 is that Cowboy Quick Draw, and is that what we saw with the video?
Yep.
With the okay.
And that's a lot of fun too. The charge for that's very nominal.
Okay. Is that almost like an activity that you would do instead of a game, like a carnival game type thing?
It's an activity.
All right. Well, the Tractor and Truck Parade of Power, as you talked about, right at noon, we're going to be kicking that off. Really exciting to have Max Armstrong. He's a big draw for obviously the agricultural community, and I know Mark Tuttle, that's a name you hear a lot, and involved with the Farm Bureau there.
Yeah, Mark Tuttle, I guess part-time is a stand-up comedian.
Is he?
You can tell. So between Mark and Max, I just stand there and hold the sheet and tell them what tractor's coming by, and they read it and they make up all sorts of stories about them, and it's very interesting.
Plus, Max often brings his own tractors, and he did last year, so we're assuming he'll bring his tractors this year as well.
I saw there was a photo on the website, and I think there was a name for his tractor. I don't know what it was, but looked pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's a very nice tractor. He brought it last time. It's actually locally hidden at a farm around here. So
interesting. I know that our station, WSPY, we have the DeKalb area stations, LBK and SQR. They're always a big sponsor, and they come out and they do a broadcast from there. I know they've talked to Max a lot in the past. Something they've been really excited to partner with you guys. And 1 to 2 then is the charity auction that you talked a little bit about, and sort of that old-fashioned feel, and these are things that people are donating. And then if you want to mention again the proceeds for that, describe a little bit about where that's going.
Well, the net proceeds will go to Farm Resource Bank, which is an international agricultural mission that goes to try to give technology that we take for granted over here and help people farm throughout the world, subsistence farmers. And people who might have 3 bags of rice or corn, help them to be able to get 9 bags of rice and corn and 27 bags. And we've had some wonderful stories throughout the world about how we've changed people's lives and changed communities' lives about supporting. It's just a wonderful agricultural mission. And then the United Neighborhood Center is a family service center. It's a place that we have a relationship. We're a charter member with Kishwaukee Hospital's Congregational Health Network.
Okay.
And they're going to be bringing wellness programs to this. And we're also going to be building a volleyball court and some other things that'll be for the community, and so it's going to be a real neat opportunity.
So you'll see the benefits from this event long after the event is over. 2 to 3 is that pedal pull. You'll have the beer garden open from 3 to 11:30. The drawdown raffle 5 o'clock. That's a big thing you've got.
That's a big thing. It's one of our biggest money makers. So you can buy raffle tickets. We have 50-50 drawing that day. We have a drawdown event where we sell 120 tickets, and every 10th ticket that we pull out is a $100 winner, then one person wins an extra $400 for $500 total. And then we're also raffling off those 2 pedal pull tractors, a pink one for the girls and a green one for the boys, or whatever. Either way, if they have a preference, right.
It's all right.
That's right.
Well, as we're going to wrap up here, I do want to say you've got the fireworks happening at night. That's obviously a big thing that
got 2 big bands,
come out for.
50s and 60s band called The Bow, Destination Unknown, which is a little more country, and then we end with fireworks.
Well, perfect ending to a really, really busy day, I'm sure, especially for you. For those of us who come out, we just get to enjoy it, but you guys are working hard. So
that's right.
So thanks for all the work that you're doing for this event. But really exciting. This is the Antique Tractor and Truck Show combined with the 15th annual Summerfest. There's the arts and crafts show, the vendors, everything that we've talked about here. Just a really big event and going to a lot of great causes. So a really cool partnership you guys have here.
Thank you.
All right, well, thanks so much, Sean Blowbaum and Jim Allen, for coming out and talking about Summerfest. And we, of course, want to invite you to come out to the Waterman Lions Summerfest Saturday, July 18th in Waterman. Find all the info online, watermantractorshow.com. Thanks for joining us on Fox Valley Today, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.